Sheikh Ammar always tell me about how, a great experience every week he has here. And he loves you guys so much. I can tell you that much. I know when somebody loves something, they always talk about it. When you love something, you always talk about it. I love, for example, coffee. I'll tell you all like how. I love diving. I've talked a lot about diving. I love the sea and the ocean in general. A lot of things to do with the sea. I'll mention it. And same thing. I love my religion. That's why I've talked about deen, religion. I love my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a lot. You love Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You always talk about it. You always think about him. So when you love something, you always mention it. Al-Arab taqul, they have an expression. They said, the tongue is the spoon of that heart. And the spoon takes from the bowl. Whatever in the bowl will come out. So if you put in this bowl, for example, chicken noodle soup, you're going to get chicken noodle soup. You're not going to get, for example, chicken corn, sweet corn soup, Chinese. You're not going to get tom yum soup. You're going to get whatever in that bowl. So same thing, the lisan bring what's in the heart. So when you talk about something a lot, that shows what's really inside the heart. And because of this, I can tell that Ammar loves you a lot because he has talked a lot about this gathering, about this class, and how dear this to him, how important this to him. And even though he's in Mecca, he was like taking people to Umrah. He called me twice. He messaged me 6 times, okay, to make sure to be here and show Sheikh you have the energy, you can. I said, I'll do it. This class is important to me too, as well, since it is so important. I just want you to know that. And when I see a teacher love his students this much, I know that the students love him as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of us. Ramadan is a month where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a lot of changes in it. And a lot of things have changed in this month. The universe changes. The gates of heavens are wide open, and the gates of hellfire closed. Can anybody tell me, anybody heard this expression before? And all along the gates of heaven are open, and the gates of hellfire closed. Paradise has so many gates. Some said 8, some said more. There's a debate we can discuss how many gates of paradise. But we know at least 8 of them. Okay? So they said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it so open because the gates of paradise are closed. It open only a certain time. It open actually in other than Ramadan as well. But in Ramadan, the whole entire month, it's wide open. Like when you hear that, what that means to you, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's gates are open. All the gates are open in Ramadan. What that means? Yes?
All the good deeds you do.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Meeting you there.
Beautiful. That means there is so many ways to enter Jannah in Ramadan. Because every one of these gates are named after one of the good deeds. One after Salah, one for the people who pray a lot, one those who make Sadaqah a lot, one those who make dhikr a lot, those who learn. So that means all the gates are open. So that means come, do as much as you can from all what? The good deeds. When Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, Allah heard that there is gates in Jannah and, somebody, can be called from the 8 gates of Jannah. They also can anyone be called from the 8 gates? Can somebody just have the choice? I enter from whatever gate I want. Then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, yes, and I hope to be you. Abu Bakr will enter Jannah from what? From one gate. There is a rule in Jannah. If you enter, you never exit. So if you walk in, you're not going to okay, let me get out and try the other door. That doesn't work this way. You're going to get, because he's not going to be cut into pieces and every piece come and meet the children. He's going to come eventually from one door, that's right. But he wants to have what? The choice. I choose which gates to go to go through. That's a very high ambition. That's aiming so high. I ask you today, if I ask any one of you guys about entering Jannah, you will say, Chef, I don't care from the window, the slide, underneath the door, I'm fine. Just slide me in the door. You know, go in and open it and on fire. And that's, I think, it's one of the key points about Ramadan and you preparing yourself for Ramadan. It just, you have to aim high. You have to aim very high at Ramadan. You're aiming for a complete forgiveness. Wipe out every single sin that you have. You're aiming for من قام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا من صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا. Those who fast, those who make qiyam, غفر له. Allah forgive all their sins. That's aiming very high. It's not just about one particular sin, particular habit, particular problem that I have with, I struggle with. No. I want to be completely, all my sins wiped out. Absolute belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will forgive you. Absolute faith and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also depending on your deeds, because an iman is actions. And seeking the reward, that's what motivates you to aim so high, because you know, in Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so generous. But what about closing the gates of hellfire? What that means? In Ramadan, the gates of hellfire are closed. What that means? Why this mention? And you, okay, I heard that, so what that mean? The hadith said, and the gates of hellfire are closed. What that mean? Yes, brother, back there in the middle.
There's a lot of good deeds to actually get to in Ramadan.
Gates are closed because so much forgiveness. There is no one to go to hellfire. And also it shows you that this is absolutely the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cover everything at that time. There's so much opportunity. That's why جاء في الحديث الذي in the Tirmidhi and the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, رغم أنفه. Such a loser. And that's what exactly this word means, expression Arabic. Such a loser. رغم أنفه. You know when you wrestle with someone and you put someone's nose in the sand, and not only you put them down on the floor, you wipe his face on the floor. That means he's completely lost the battle. He's completely lost the match. That's rahima anf. So that's an expression says he's absolutely loser. The person who witnessed the month of Ramadan and his or her sin are not forgiven. After really very, very bad. So that's why there is the gate of hellfire closed. It's basically an inspiration for you to tell you that the only thing left is you to put the effort and the work. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that
يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم.
Siyam was prescribed upon you as prescribed upon the people before you. لعلكم تتقون, so you might attain a taqwa. And the taqwa is 3 levels. So see which one of these levels you attain in Ramadan. The basic level, which is to perfect your iman, that you worship Allah, you never pray to other than Allah, your heart depend, rely, connect, submit to anyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا تعبد غير الله. That's the foundation. Basics, by the way, doesn't mean it's not important. Basics means foundation. So it's the most important thing, the basics. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ and المتقين. Allah only accept the deeds of al-muttaqeen, يعني al-mu'attideen. The people of tawheed, the people who worship Him alone, the people who submit to Him alone. Faith. Then the second level are taqwa, which it means to avoid the haram and to do the obligation. So that means in Ramadan, something I have to care about it a lot to make sure that I don't miss the obligations. I don't miss any of the, I don't miss Fajr, I don't miss Isha, I don't miss. Some people, subhanAllah, willing to miss Salat and Isha for Taraweeh. Miss Salat for Taraweeh because you want to go praying someone else, even if you miss Isha prayer. because you want to cast it off. Miss Salat al-Isha because in the coffee shop or in the restaurant or in, Salat is a great thing. Al-Fajr, don't miss it. So you try your best to make sure that you fulfill all the obligation and you abstain from the haram, anything that's forbidden. The third level is a taqwa, is to leave the things that it will not benefit you in the akhirah. Can you imagine that? Ask yourself, is this going to benefit me in the akhirah or not? Leave it. That's very hard to live this code. Very few people in history of Islam will ever can live by that code. Very few. That's like the cream of the pot. Does it benefit me in the akhirah? I have no interest in it. Okay? Or anything that it might harm you in the akhirah. It might, not 100%, but it might. I avoid her. This is the highest level of taqwa. This is the highest level of al-awliya, because awliya Allah levels. That's the highest level. And the basics are basically the foundation for all these levels. And that's the level number one, if we can say that. Right. Going back to the topic. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to attain this taqwa and these three levels. And all of them, you work on them during the month of Ramadan. Every year I ask myself this question. I have many lectures. It's called How to Make This Your Best Ramadan Ever. How to Make 2017 the best Ramadan ever. Sheikh, every year you're making the best Ramadan ever? Yes. Can you tell me why you can make this Ramadan better than last Ramadan? There is always room for improvement. Where this room comes from? You're into it, where this rooms of improvement comes from? Are you the same person last year? We grow, guys. We just don't grow on size. Also, we grow spiritually. We grow maturely, mentally. So as we grow, there is always opportunity for us to know more, to do more, to have a different perspectives of things. Because we continuously growing as human beings, we continuously can grow also spiritually and can grow in our religion. And the beautiful things about Islam, that Islam has no minimum, but has no limit. Up. You can go as much as you want. But there is a minimum. Inshallah, and Imam Ahmed used to pray sometimes in the daytime 300 rak'ah. So maximum, there is no, you can make dhikr as much as you want. You can make snam as much as you want. With some guidelines, very, very limited restriction. But the minimum, yes, the month of Ramadan. So here, as you say, when I say to myself, Waleed, are you ever going to talk about this? Yes, because every year I'm a better than the year before. And even if I'm not at a better spiritual level than last year, so that means Ramadan for me would be one of the best Ramadan because it will bring me back up. It will recharge me. It will give me that push to go back and to be a better person. I want to say something, a few points, and I'll leave that floor open after that for questions and answers and comments. My first point when it comes about how to prepare yourself for Ramadan well and to make it one of the best Ramadan ever, something so easy. It doesn't take much effort, but the reward of it is tremendous, huge. It's called intention. An-niyyah. An-niyyah, it is something between you and Allah. No one else will know what it is. What's in your heart? Listen to what Allah says in the Quran.
إن يعلم الله في قلوبكم خيرا يؤتكم خيرا.
As-salam. If Allah finds goodness in your hearts, He will give you better than what you have. If Allah sees goodness in your heart, Allah will give you better. Make sure that when Allah look at your heart today, because the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Allah doesn't look to your body. He looks through your body to what's in your heart. What's in your heart about Ramadan now? I love it. I'm looking forward for it. I really want to come close to Allah. Is that mean? What's in your heart? For, oh my God, how many hours are you going to fast? 14. Okay, I need to think about how my schedule is going to be, how my work schedule is going to be, how's this going to be, what's really in your heart about Ramadan? That's something only Allah knows. Make sure when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He looks at your heart, He's seeing this heart filled with love for Ramadan, commitment, interest, good planning for Ramadan. From now, have the intention what you're going to be doing. If I tell you guys, can you imagine there is a year where people come and cannot fast and cannot pray together in the masjid? What? I guess now you know, COVID happened. And so many people couldn't fast because they were sick. We couldn't have masajid to come. Alhamdulillah, we're in Texas, it'd be better. But, but there is certain place. I was just recently in Sydney, and the people telling me there, in Australia, one of the most strict country actually was about COVID. It took him too seriously. Too much, like things of his eyes, like, wow, that's like, it's an island, so just they walk everywhere. Anyway, the community there just right now, like few months only, they just coming back to the massage. And it's like remind me of the feeling that right after the peak of the COVID, how we love the masjid backslide. That's how they're feeling these days. And like, I was like, wow. But you didn't know what can happen to you in Ramadan. What can distract you, what can prevent you. I never thought I'm going to be, like I'm talking to my doctor about, oh, Chef Waleed, I don't know if you should fast the first week or not. I'm not really happy with that decision. I never in my life thought I'm going to have the surgery or like I'll need to do something like that I need to think twice about fasting in Ramadan. Never thought about it. But if you from now have that intention for what you're going to do in Ramadan, I'm going to make Khatm Quran. I'm going to make every salah count. I'm going to make sure to attend every salah on time. I'm going to make sure that to read Quran every day. I'm going to make sure to make i'tikaf. Revise all surahs, memorization. Or I'm going to memorize passages from the Quran or certain verse in the Quran. What else? What good intention also? I'm going to read the tafsir or book for ilm. What else? I'm going to attend classes. What else? I'm going to listen to a whole series about Ramadan. For example, Ramadan, I'm going to listen to this series and finish it. Tafsir or hadith or fiqh, whatever. What else? What good intention? The more you think about this, I'm going to increase my dua. Very good. How about I'm going to spend more time with my family? You know what? This Ramadan, I always find Ramadan excellent opportunity for family to come closer to each other. I'm going to spend more time with my family. If you can, I'll be excellent. You know what? I'll become extra nice to my spouse. That's a good deed. One of the Salaf, Waleed ibn Iyad, a man told him, I don't know those people with kids and family, when they have time for ibadah, for seeking knowledge, for worshipping Allah. But Waleed ibn Iyad looked at him and he said, son, that father, when he come back from work to his family, bringing food to them, and how his kids are so happy to see him, that man is way ahead of those who spend their time day and night praying and fasting in the masjid. قال كيف يلحق به العون المتعب? We'll never catch him. This person is very high. So don't underestimate the issue of family. If anyone here, his family not living with him in Houston, like another state or another country, okay, I make sure, every day I'm going to message my mom, my dad. I'm going to message them. That's a good deed. Don't underestimate that. Have the intention to do that. Sulat al-Rahim, one of the greatest ibadah you can worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with. By the way, one of the active good deeds, I saw somebody doing it at our masjid. He said, yeah, and on the line, I intentionally making sure that I park my car far away. Because the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, for each step that you take to the masjid, Allah give you a reward. To you guys, just to see you, to understand the thought. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, when he used to walk to the masjid, he used to make a baby steps. So it numbers, it increased. And when you use the iqamah, ba'ada bayna khatawat, you take a big steps to catch the salah from the beginning. This is iman wa ihtisab. Always think of that ajr that you get. Okay? Smiling at your Muslim brothers in the masjid when you come. Helping people, teaching, learning. Learning the knowledge is one of the best ibadah you can do. Shafi'i rahimahullah said, I can't think of anything more rewarding, help, after fulfilling the obligations than seeking knowledge. Shafi'i is saying, I couldn't think of anything more rewarding after fulfilling the obligations than seeking knowledge. One of the statements that the scholars carry generation after generation, the statement says, the intention for the believer better than the action. Sometimes small deeds, but the intention can make it so huge and big and reward. So my question for you is this. Why intention is such an important thing? Why it is so rewarding like that? Why it's a good idea to have all these intentions before the month of Ramadan? Yes, number one. This is the thought. Okay, cool.
Well, because you yourself said it earlier, Sheikh, where you said, why are you taking care of your body? Every action is going to be characterized by the intention that's behind it. So it can be something very small, but if your intention was pure, like the sevenfold, then it's much bigger than if you've had, let's say, the intention to just make it to impress someone or so on.
So having an intention early before even Ramadan, it shows that you care. It shows that you have a purpose. So the actions would be born full of life versus action born dead. It's just mechanical, like Allah. I'm going to Taraweeh because that's how the culture is. I'm from now thinking about, I bet you anything, next time when you cook food for your family, you will think about what I just told you. The action were born with the full flight because there is so much purpose behind it. Sama' al-Quran, hearing the whole of the Quran, it's a khatma. That's why in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, khatm al-Quran with Jibreel was what? Listening to Jibreel reviewing it. Or the Sahaba that listening to the Prophet sallallahu or he listening to one of the Sahaba. So that's one of the khatm al-Quran. So one of the things that you can do, you know what, I'm going to download this, I'm going to hear it. And if you want to make it even better, while the Sheikh reciting, look at the Mus'haf. So you correct your qira'ah, you get familiar with it. Those who know how to read. What if I don't know how to read Arabic? One of the things you can make up the Quran, how Sheikh? I'll tell you, there is many videos I've seen of the Quran, the Arabic, then the English. Even with words, spoken words, not like you read the translation. No, even you hear it, the translation of the Quran. You know what? Listen to this. Put it in the more faster if you can. Just do the whole entire Quran. Sheikh, I don't understand most of it. Doesn't matter. Get the habit of finishing the whole thing. And next time you will get more. Next time you get more and so forth. Also, there's another form of Khatm al-Quran. Khatm al-Quran to levels. To khatam the whole of the Quran and to make khatam for one juz. Or to make khatam for one surah. For portion. Also, ulama al-Quran, we talk about this kind of khatam. And so one thing that you can also do, a little bit of tadabbur, contemplation, thinking about the Quran. Read the Quran and connect yourself to the Quran. Not asking you to interpret the Quran, but see how the Quran relates to you. I'll never forget this young man told me a story. I mean, he'll end with this, inshallah. He walked into the masjid and he just finished the exams and just started spring break, let's say. It's actually summer break. He said, I was like so happy, done with school, summer. I'm so highly motivated to do nothing. So other way, inshallah, in this summer, they said, I walk into the masjid and the Imam was reading the Salah. And the Imam was reading what Allah says in the Quran. فَنِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصُرْ. When you're done, exhaust yourself in the worship of Allah. Wallahi, he said, I felt the verse. When you're done, exhaust yourself in the worship of Allah. As if Allah told me, are you done with your exams and with all these things that are taking you away from me? Now it's the time to tansal. That called tadabbur, that's not tafsir. That's not interpreting. That he felt that the Quran speaking to him. When someone come to the masjid late and he hear the Quran, the Qari reading, سيقول المخلفون من الأعراب شبرتنا أموال بالآخرة. He came late for the salah. And he heard that Imam reading that Arab who did not go with the Prophet says, the battle. You know, they said, oh, we were late, we didn't catch up from the beginning because of family and, you know, and our business. I was distracted. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he criticized them and reprimanded them and basically exposed them that this is sign of hypocrisy, that they favor the dunya over what is Allah asked him to do. So this person, he walked to the masjid late because he was distracted with something. A guest came to him and he wanted to go to Houston, he wanted to go to Galveston, he wanted to see murky water. So I said, let's go. But you know what? How about if pray Isha first? Then we gotta go. We're late anyway. Sheikh, I went to Isha prayer and the Imam, I came late, though I'm getting up. I just came late. I asked him to leave, I asked someone to lead the prayer. He read a surah that brought tears to my eyes. I know the surah, I read the surah, I memorize the verse. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Jumu'ah, قُلْ مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ لِّي النَّاسِ الْإِرْتِجَاعًا. What Allah has for you is much better than any lahu, any entertaining, any fun time, any whatever, any Galveston, any going to the beach, anything of that thing. What Allah has for you is better. I felt like as if Allah was telling me that. I can buy the excuses. I'm far away from the masjid, so I'm going to be in Galveston, you know, leaving early and it'll be the road. You know, I'm planning to pray later on over there, me and him and Jama'ah. I provide many excuses. When I heard this verse, I felt like Allah speaking to me. You know, it's not easy at the beginning, but I promise you, if you dedicate just 10 minutes, read the Quran with this kind of heart, in this kind of mindset, and try day 1, day 2, 3, maybe not again, it's very happening. Maybe in the 20th, 3rd, 25th, 26th, Allah open your heart to this. And you will feel how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking to you. But please don't make rules out of this. It's about inspirations. It's about, you know, feeling connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the book of Allah. And I definitely would say make a lot of dua at Allah, make this not only the best Ramadan ever. One of my friends was so happy. He made dua for me that day. He said, Sheikh, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you enjoy the Quran in the month of Ramadan. Specific. Allah يمتعك بالقرآن في رمضان. That's hard. Ya Allah, I ask you to enjoy every Taraweeh, Ya Rabbi. Make this kind of dua something that really you feel you really want, you really love. And by the way, in ibadat, there's so many. Some of them you might not connect to it. Don't beat yourself up. but you have to connect to something. That's why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, care for the thing that will benefit you the most. See which ibadah that connect you the most with Allah, make you closer to Allah. That's what you care for the most. Thank you very much for being such a great crowd.